Hey caregetters, Christy here, and I have a lot to share with you today, so I'm going to get right to it. First, my resource of the day that I wanted to share is BOSMA, and that's BOSMA, and it's actually for the vision impaired. They are navigating blindness, and I'll put the link to their website in the comments below here so you can check it out, but it really was fascinating to me to get to talk with Paige, who had actually, she's been there for over 15 years, which I thought was incredible. Anyways, but BOSMA is right here in Indianapolis, and it's a nonprofit that started over 100 years ago. So they have been helping older adults in Indiana navigate their vision impairment and set them up to succeed for over 100 years. Incredible. Okay, so I wrote down their mission statement so that I didn't mess it up. And it is a mission to help adult Hoosiers who are blind or visually impaired gain life skills needed to remain independent and job skills needed to stay self-sufficient, and I added safely. After talking with Paige, they just really set folks up to thrive in the environment that they're already in, just with a few tweaks and modifications, which I don't know why I just was thinking about it when I was preparing for this today. Like, without contacts, I could not see the hand in front of my face. And so I know how frustrating that feels when I wake up and I have to go find my glasses and put my contacts in. And it's just an uncomfortable feeling. It makes you feel very unsafe, I guess, if you are not in an environment that you know how to navigate. So the fact that this exists and is right here in our city is just amazing. So I'll put the link to their website in the comments, and I encourage you to check that out. Opportunity changes everything is one of the little captions on one of their, I think it's their About Me page, and it just was really fascinating. Between the CapTel caption phones and this BOSMA together, it's really overcoming some of those obstacles that maybe people think are in their way. They just don't know the resource to kind of break through and navigate it a little bit more effectively. The next thing that I wanted to share with you all is the outcome, or the results, I guess, of the Caregetter transformation course that I just finished. So that just finished on Friday, and it was amazing. I had such an awesome experience, not only with the client that signed up, but just hearing her feedback and hearing where she's at in her journey. It really solidified for me what I'm doing here and why I'm here. And how she explained, a lot of the information that I give is not brand new. I didn't make it up information. It's just kind of packaging it in a way that an overwhelmed caregiver can truly just take action. It's almost like a plug and play template kind of situation. So we created a self-care menu and some truths and affirmations that you can kind of just reference when you know you're needing something, but not quite sure what that is. So it was just an amazing experience. And on Friday, we had a guest, a guest visitor, spotlight speaker, I guess. And it was Jessie from the Memory Compass. And if you have not connected with her and your loved one has any type of cognitive impairment, she's your girl. I will also put her information in the comments because she's amazing. And it was so great to see another healthcare, I guess, professional wrap around her with exactly what she needed right when she needs it. And that, I told them on the call, but that's what lights me up. That's what gives me chills and fuels my fire, is in one breath connecting to the resources that are within the network that I have built thus far, but then also tapping into the inner work and the interpersonal discovery that really is the make or break for ongoing success and happiness and grace in your life. And because of how many caregivers I've walked alongside, this whole time I thought I was looking for, or was trying to recap all of the scenarios to see the commonalities and the themes that have kind of arisen. But what my client on Friday opened my eyes to is what I've really been keeping an eye on, is where the hole is, or where the breakdown is from giving these resources and giving these contacts and just give, go do this, go do that, fill this out, add this to a binder, and shifting that, still doing that, but then shifting that and providing the tools and the techniques and the systems to tap into to create some inner self-trust and practices that make us feel a little bit more centered when things around us are out of our control, or maybe feeling a little wobbly, is what I always like to say. So it was just really, for me, very affirming and fueled me up even more for Caregiver Transformation 2.0. And if you are watching right now, or you have somebody in your life that is an overwhelmed caregiver in any capacity, so they could be caring for their spouse or a loved one or a parent, any type of caregiver that has found themselves doing all of the tasks, doing all of the things, and not ever pausing, creating space to kind of take a breath and just relax. And it seems to them in the moment that they can't do that. And so if you have somebody in your life, or you are that person that feels that way, this is for you. I literally just watched it happen over the course of 3 days, and I know that it can be done for many more of you. If you want to learn more about that, I will do a free webinar on September 3rd at 6 p.m. just kind of overviewing what we're going to cover in the course over the 3 days. It is a 3-day course. There are 4 live Zoom calls, which actually ends up being 5 hours of live coaching with me. We might do it here in this area. We might go outside. We kind of moved around and got to experience a lot of neat things. So I would really love, if you are a caregiver, that you would take this opportunity, at least join me on September 3rd, and it's only an hour and it's free, and see if it's something that would make sense for you in your caregiving journey. I'd love to see you there, and I'll put the link for that in the comments as well. And then, oh yeah, I made myself a note because I'm only opening this next 2.0 Caregiver Transformation course up to 10 people. So this last time it was just one-on-one, and I loved that. I thought that that was really impactful to be able to unpack a situation and digest it. For me, that's how I operate. Digest it, formulate kind of a game plan, activate the game plan, and then set that person up for success. So I feel confident now, after going through that process, to do it for 9 more than that, but keeping it to 10. So the last day to purchase that or sign up for that will be the 8th, the day before. So the next thing I wanted to share is Meals on Wheels is looking for volunteers. So I just started my route last Wednesday, was my first time, and it's just an incredibly rewarding experience, and it takes, I think it took me like maybe an hour and a half, and it's a little different right now with COVID. You can't do as much of like the lovey-dovey, how you doing, I want to sit and chat, but you still get to see somebody. They still get to see somebody. And if you know that something's not right, or you don't see them come to the door, or they don't answer your call, there is a system in place that notifies their family or their emergency contact to make sure that they are safe, to make sure that they are getting what they need. And it's another set of eyes and ears on them. It doesn't take a ton of your time. Right now, I am actually only signed up for one day a month, maybe 2 days a month. And then you can sub if somebody can't do it that day, or whatever the case may be. So I will put the link for Meals on Wheels Indiana. mealsonwheelsindy.org is the website, but super easy to sign up and become a volunteer. You can be a corporate volunteer sponsor, and in your company, if there's a good amount of you, even if there's 15 or 20 of you, that's like a sweet spot of people that can rotate, and no one has to go more than once a month. So just something to check out. I had a really awesome experience. I loved training a couple weeks ago, and I loved doing it all on my own on Wednesday, and people are super, super grateful, and you still get to make their day. So I encourage you to check that out. My other update is that my podcast course just ended. So I'm launching into Legendary was the name of the course that I just went through, and it was so helpful to just learn the processes and the behind the scenes and how it all works, because I am not well equipped in that, but I do have a lot of information to share. And the name of my show is Share the Care, and it's really kind of walking through my journey along the senior living landscape. So I started in independent living, actually started in residential housing, gone to independent living, and then traveled along the spectrum of care so that I could really get a good idea of what goes on in each area of that traditional kind of facility living. So I will be sharing that on the podcast, and then I'll also be sharing examples and situations to kind of relate to and see if you can see yourself or someone you know in that situation, and then two-part, encourage them to come watch these videos or sign up for the webinar, or if nothing else, they just know that they're not alone. So that's a win for me, if they can just see that even one part of their situation is not, they're not alone in navigating it or figuring out how it affects their day-to-day life. So leading into that, if you are somebody that loves these videos, I know a few of you share them with your family and your friends, and I so appreciate you for that. But if there are videos that are archived that you've not watched, or maybe you're new, if you're new, welcome, and you've not seen them yet, I actually did I called it a CareVid series in April because of COVID. And it was a video a day. So there are 30 mini videos that are in the archive of my library, and they're slowly making their way over to YouTube. So if you're on YouTube, you can just search Care by Christy and you'll start to see a video library build up. Working on that. So check those out if you haven't yet. And then my last thing to share, let me take a drink real quick. My last thing to share is about micro promises. Hello, Jennifer. I hope that's why you're all here. It's just because you desperately want to know about micro promises. Okay. So I've made up my own definition. This is what I do. It is the self-confidence or energy. I feel like everything is energy. Self-confidence or energy is restored and grows every time you keep a promise to yourself. So, for example, today at 8 p.m., I will create space for a bath. So if I do that, it strengthens my inner self-trust, my self-trust muscle. Not my regular muscles, my self-trust muscles. They're on the inside. And they get stronger and stronger and stronger the more we fulfill the promises that we make to ourselves. So if you are super awesome at telling your husband, I promise tonight when I get home I'll make you dinner, and you do it. Well, it's because you're doing it for somebody else. If you promise your kids that you'll take them to the store and you do it, you're building up their trust in you every time you fulfill the promise. So it's the same thing. So when you say, I'm going to wake up at 7:30 and I'm going to move my body for 20 minutes, and you wake up at 7:30 and you move your body for 20 minutes, that's all you have to do. And then when you do it, it's very subtle. It's very, yeah, I did that. It's almost like, I think of it kind of like putting things on the to-do list that you've already done. It's like a different feeling. You do your to-do list and then you check the things off, and that's thrilling and exhilarating. But sometimes you did a load of laundry or you did the dishes that weren't on the list. You put them on, you check them off, and you see how good you did. So make some micro promises. Make 5. Make 5 this week. It's Tuesday. Make 5 this week that you know you can fulfill on. I will be asking you about them next Tuesday, and I would love to hear the micro promises that you're making to yourself. Feel free to drop those in the comments below. It's really something that has, I say, changed my game. But I think that a lot of times, especially as caregivers, it's easy to micro promise yourself away, if that makes sense. And the hole or the disconnect that my client was just speaking about on Friday is simply that. You've given, you've given, you've given. You've got kids and a career and family and pets and this loved one that you're caring for and you.